Last weekend, after I saw the police encounter between Tyreek Hill and the police down in Florida, I decided I wanted to have a conversation with some other black men to get their perspective on that situation. I had my opinion on a few things as looking at that situation and the way that everything went down. So I just wanted to see what kind of opinion some other folks may have had after watching that situation unfold. Here's the video of the conversation I had with the gentleman on the Tyreek Hill police encounter.
Debate. Shit, that bitch was Biden last night, wasn't he?
Oh man, I don't know what
He
the hell.
was worse than Biden.
I don't know what the hell he had going on. Talking about people eating cats and
Listen,
shit,
man.
man.
Y'all, hey, listen.
Oh,
Everybody did see the debates last night, right?
yeah. What about Abdul?
Who that?
Abdul.
Oh yeah, Abdul, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Making up people, right? Right.
Man, hey, man, the boy got issues, man.
Yeah, he got some issues. Look, man, let's see. Ron, your mic is off. There you go. Did y'all everybody saw the Tyreek situation?
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody saw it?
yeah.
Okay. All right. If you didn't see it, I was gonna throw it up. But we'll give him a few minutes. I want to talk about that too. I want to talk about that, man. But hell, while we waiting, hell, let's go ahead and get into that, man. I want to talk about the Tyreek thing, man.
Man, bro.
Bob, I'm gonna go ahead and give you first shot, man. I brought it up yesterday, and you briefly said something, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and
Yeah,
give me your feelings on this situation, man.
When I heard him speak about it on CNN,
Mhm.
I understood where he came from. Because he said on CNN, he was like, listen, I'm a prominent person in this city because I play this sport for this city. And I rolled my window down. I gave him everything he asked for. I rolled my window back up because I didn't want people riding by taking pictures.
Okay.
So now it'll look worse because they taking pictures, throwing them on Facebook and Instagram and everything else. So he said he rolled his window back up.
Mm-hmm.
So the Joker told him, you got to roll your window down. So he rolled it down again. The man said what he said. He rolled it back up.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, who in the hell gives you the wills and the rights to tell somebody when they can roll their window up and down?
Okay.
So that's what it stemmed from.
Right. You're right.
About the window being let down or up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got all my credentials, why the hell you worried about me rolling my window up and down? I ain't going no damn where.
Okay.
But you just had a hair up your ass about me being a black man with a couple dollars, and that's what it ended up being. Mm-hmm. Right now, you might lose your job for that because it was me. I don't want no money from y'all. He don't need to work, and anywhere he went, that's the court case I want. I want to know if he gets hired by anybody else because I'm going to fight for it every time. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's just me. What's up, Chocolate? Turn your mic on.
Who we got?
Think about my mic.
This is Mr. Sanders. How you doing, Mr. Sanders?
And I'm good. How y'all doing?
Everybody, that's Greg Sanders.
Okay.
Yeah, some people call him Chocolate, but that's my dude right there.
No, you the only motherfucker call me Chocolate. Shut that shit up.
Greg, but Greg, since you just popping in, we talking about Tyreek. situation? Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, give me your feelings on that, man. What you feel
Yeah.
about that?
Here's the thing. That happens every day.
Okay.
That happens every day throughout this country. And the only thing that was different was because he was Tyreek Hill. And considering that Police Campbell said he was put in handcuffs, also,
Yeah, he was.
they don't give a fuck about who you are, your status. It's all about the color of your skin.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is, I was a cop in the Air Force for 15 years before I retrained.
Okay.
And now you got these cops, and then I got to tell my sons how to act
Mm-hmm.
and how to conduct themselves when they get stopped.
Right.
And how not to be in positions to put themselves in a place where they can be stopped.
Right.
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, you probably need to be in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because the cops are looking at you, and it doesn't matter whether you are a law-abiding citizen and you're just hanging out with your friends or coming from a club or whatever it is. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to treat you the same way. And the prejudices are still there. And I don't care how we're trying to police and straighten up the polices. Police are still recruiting cops that are prejudiced against skin color. I'll put it like that. Not just black, but Hispanic,
right,
Puerto Rican, whatever it is. If you ain't white, it's still the same.
Now these guys were Hispanic. Those cops were. But go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Well, Chester, look at what the guys down in, what was it, Memphis?
Yeah.
Was it Memphis?
Yeah.
Those were black guys.
That's right. That's right.
And to put some info on that, right? The black guys that beat the brother about the girlfriend down in Memphis, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But with when you talk, and I learned this from inmates in the prison.
Mm-hmm.
When you speak about Latinos, some of them don't think that they roll in with us. Oh, they are, and their culture puts them as white.
Right. You're right.
And that's why a lot of them, and we got two of them down there in DC. Mm-hmm. Rubio and Cruz. Right? They don't think or feel that they are of a dark complexion. They feel that they have made it and they fit in. They don't even understand that they deeper in the hole than I am.
Right.
Because if they mess up, they gonna go deeper than me. I'm going 6 feet. They going 12.
Mm-hmm. All right. So here's my thing and how I actually think. I know I'm new to this, but my thing is like this. I judge a person on his character, work, not on the color of his skin. I don't give a shit. Because I have some dark skinned complexion people that I don't give a fuck about because they ain't worth shit. Mm-hmm. I have some white friends that I know I can go to. Mm-hmm. So it's not about the color of your skin, it's about the content of your character. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's how I judge my friends. That's how I judge who I want to deal with. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I didn't I didn't learn that because I grew up in Dallas, Texas. I went to an all-black, well, pretty much predominantly black school in the hood, and that I never left the state of Texas, honestly, till I joined the military.
Mm-hmm.
And then going from base to base, whatever, and just seeing the cultural differences, and then being a cop and understand that there are cultural differences. It kind of opened my eyes because when I went to England, one of the things that kind of like really opened my eyes is like I'm not homophobic. You do what you want to, right? But when somebody say, "Yo, man, can I have a fact?" I didn't understand what that. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Cigarette.
But he was like, "I wanted a cigarette."
Right.
Now, and I was like, "Oh shit! All right." So that's when I first started understanding that there are cultural languages and cultural differences that we have to understand. And then you start getting training and inclusion and cultural differences. And I understand that. And then I travel and I understand all of that. And there are still divisiveness, but I don't buy into that. But I do buy into you need to treat people how you want to be treated. I'm a Christian man.
I could tell by that mouth, but go ahead.
You need to treat me.
Hey, that's vicious right there.
You need to treat people how you want to be treated.
On Sunday, Chester.
Yeah, we ain't censored, but yeah, go ahead, man.
Them words is in the Bible.
I'm all about that.
He say they in the Bible.
I got you.
So it's like you can't. I saw the Tyreek Hill thing. I thought it was effed up.
Right. Okay.
It is what it is.
Okay. Wrong.
It was wrong. It was definitely wrong. And I don't even understand how you get pulled over for a traffic stop and you get handcuffed and put on the ground.
Right.
You pull me over for a traffic stop. All right, give me my ticket.
Like he was
Let me roll on.
Right.
But I do understand the fact that if he wasn't Tyreek Hill, he going to jail.
Right.
That's what would have happened.
Okay. Ron Price.
Ron.
So, how you feel about this thing, man? About that situation?
So two things. One, he was driving the wrong car for that police officer. I think the police officer profiled him because of the car. He didn't know that was Tyreek Hill until other players from the Dolphins showed up and started saying, "Tyreek, are you okay?" But I come from a different perspective with this because you have to go back to the origins of the police department. The police department was established during Jim Crow to keep the black folks in line because slavery was outlawed. And throughout the ages, the police department have always been incentivized to minorities, but specifically black folk. Some of the other minorities came along later, but the black folk were the target. And what you have to understand with police, they know enough about the law to know that the shield is going to protect them. Because the one thing they're going to say, if you're bigger than they are, you don't have to be bigger than they are. I was afraid for my life. Well, you was afraid for your life, but you was the reason why everything escalated because it was just a traffic stop. But by the cop's demeanor, the way he was talking to him when he was slamming him to the ground, it said exactly what was going on. This cop felt like because he was a cop, he don't give a damn what you drive and who you think you are. Right now, I'm running the show, not you.
That's the whole thing that they used to tell me when I was a cop.
You know,
Air Force.
and the thing about it, and I say that because I remember
don't let your rank
when I was in college in Baltimore, I came from a party on campus. I was sitting on the bench waiting for the bus, MTS. Baltimore City Police drove by on the opposite side of the road. So, you know, I'm from New York. He looked at me, so I looked at him. Like, what the hell are you looking at me for? He drives around this, there's a apartment complex that was near the bus stop. He drives around the back, comes back with all the Christmas lights on. Tells me I fit the description of somebody that just robbed the 7-Eleven. So he puts me in the back of the police car. He takes me over to 7-Eleven. And the guy, the clerk, he's asking the clerk looking in the back, trying to get a good look at me. And he's asking the clerk, is that him? Is that him? And the clerk looked at me and he was like, no, that's not the guy. But in my mind, I'm like, now I was minding my damn business.
Right.
And the cop just, he just took it to another level. He just saw somebody black and he didn't know nothing about me.
Right.
What kind of person I was or anything, right? But he's gonna take me someplace about somebody just committed a robbery. Right?
Yeah.
And so after that incident, I'm telling the cop, I said, hey, I was waiting for the mass transit and it went by a stop with me messing around with you. So the least you could do is give me a ride home. He's like, I'm taking you back where I found you.
Yeah,
So it's their attitude when they go through that training that, you know, and a lot of times people don't realize we're in a different century, man. That training that they had constitutionally or whatever, it has to be changed because it's not those days where a cop can talk down to you.
I don't think
just because he's a cop. You know what I mean? And they all, not all of them, but majority of them, they look at that badge as being a tool to just treat, you know, especially black people any way they want to.
Can I interject a little bit? Since I was a cop, I don't think it's all cops.
No, it's not.
I don't think they don't get the training. I don't think that they don't understand. What I think is how, and I'm being honest, it's how you were raised, it's how you were brought up, it's all of that plays into that. Like I said, I grew up in Dallas. When I was stationed in New Mexico, I drove home. And I used to, anybody remember the little Fieros? I had a little sports Fiero. Nice little sports joint. I was going to my aunt's house and I was cutting, you cut through, shave some time off, whatever. But I was cutting through this neighborhood that you didn't really see black people. And DPD pulled me over. I wasn't speeding. I committed no traffic violations. He stopped me. And when he got out of his car, since I was a cop, looking in my rear view, and I understand, keep my hands on the steering wheel, all that shit, right? He unsnapped his weapon and was bringing it out of his holster. Just because I was a black man in a Fiero going through a neighborhood that he didn't think I should be in. And when he came up there, I gave him all my shit. And he was like, why are you doing this? I was like, I'm going to my aunt's house. This is a shortcut, blah, blah, blah. Was I scared? Yes. He's a white guy with a gun. And I didn't have nothing to defend myself.
Yeah.
So that taught me a lesson that I'm teaching my children or my sons you need to understand the environment that you're in and how you need to conduct yourself.
Right. Okay. Now hold on. Let me say this, because I don't want to stay on Tyreek too long. So after hearing what you guys said, did you get in, Mike? Did you get? Did you get?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Look, but let me say this about the Tyreek thing. Now everybody has their rights, but I think that Tyreek, he should have known better, knowing how these cops, I call them fucking demons. That's what I call them. They got the authority to kill folks. He knows that. Hey man, why you tapping on my window? Man, fuck it. Roll your window down. You know how they are. I mean, he should know. Shouldn't he know?
Yes.
Bobby, shouldn't he know?
No doubt.
Okay.
And
So
like I said,
don't you think he kind of escalated that? Well, I won't say escalated
no,
this.
no,
But look,
because
man, look, you know how they are.
right.
You know your ass probably was speeding or whatever. Get a man your damn license. Let him do what he got to do instead of telling him what to do, and get the hell on down the road, man. I mean,
right. And this is the thing, right? It's got to be, and like I said, when I heard what Tyreek said on CNN about why
I haven't seen none of what he said, but go ahead.
And I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on CNN. He said what he did was roll his window up because he didn't want people taking pictures, right? And I'm with that. Well, at the same time, Tess, I understand what you're saying too, right? Mm-hmm. But where does it come when I can watch a cop talk to a white man and he tell him, I'm not rolling my window down. I'm not rolling my goddamn window down. Mm-hmm. I don't care what you say. Mm-hmm. Fuck you.
That's
calling pussies.
That's called privilege, Bob. We don't have that. That's called
and Tessa, this is exactly what I'm saying. Like it shouldn't be a difference.
It shouldn't be.
Right. Then he calling him all kind of pussies and faggots and go home to your mama and everything. And he does nothing. He don't get drug out of his car.
Right.
You know what I mean? All this man did was put his window up. Then you going to tell the man said, I'm gonna sit down, but I had knee surgery. I'm gonna move a little slower. Mm-hmm. Right? He didn't say I'm not sitting down. No. And then this joker gonna come grab him by the neck and throw him down. And here's the audio saying, I hurt my knee. I just had a knee operation. I'm gonna sit down. I'm sitting down. I'm just moving a little slow. Mm-hmm. Right? You gonna go grab him by the neck because you feel like a hero.
All of that was wrong.
All of it.
Yeah. All that shit was wrong. But getting back, like Greg was saying, you know, he teach his sons or whatever how to interact with the cops. So what I'm saying, if Tyreek had known how to interact with these assholes, and I'm not blaming Tyreek the brother, man. I mean, but I just want to know how you guys felt about it. I mean, I just feel like Tyreek.
But then you got
maybe he didn't have that education on.
Here's the other side of that, right?
With the police.
Here's the other side of that. When you get to a certain status, right, in this life, we think that certain things shouldn't happen to us.
Well, and he probably had that feeling.
And he definitely had that in him.
Yeah, I get that. Mm-hmm. Here's my thing. I'm gonna interject. Here's my thing. Because there are a lot of things that I watch. I watch on YouTube. I watch on all that shit. There are a lot of things that the media is not portraying and not giving to us, right? Mm-hmm. What we get is the black man did this, and this is what we did. But then again, if you watch the other stuff, it's like, and I'm not saying it's proportionate to one side or another, but they are doing this to white people, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans. It's just the entitlement of the police force to enforce shit that is not right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
the way they think it should be enforced.
Exactly.
At that moment.
Exactly.
Chester, I want to kind of, you know, I grew up in an era when we had separate bathrooms and separate water fountains, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that. Right. So if we were still complying, like you are indicating that Tyreek should have complied, we still be going to those same bathrooms or the same water fountains.
That's true. That's true.
You know, and I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, but at some point, you got to say, I'm not going to do that, and you don't do it to the point where you're going to get hurt, killed, or something like that. And he might have pushed it a little bit and got his butt thrown on the ground with the knee in his back. But,
that was about to happen until his teammates showed up.
Yeah. So, and if he'd have been in a different situation, someplace, let's say remote, hey, he might have been, he threatened me, so I had to kill him.
With that attitude that he had. And, I mean, I won't say his attitude. I'm not saying he had a negative attitude, but still, all I'm saying is, man, I mean, look, there's everything, the way I feel like, I don't give a damn what the situation is that you may get or that happens to you. There's always a way to handle shit.
Yeah.
When I just feel that Tyreek, and maybe he didn't know, look, these guys, they out for blood today. So let me just leave my fucking window down. I mean, this guy sitting there, Tyreek in his car with tinted windows. I mean, and I kind of, even looking at the video, and the shit was over, looking at the video, and I'm like, man, look, this dude could have shot my man, because I saw him reaching for something, I'm like, man, look, don't put yourself in that situation.
Tyreek been in trouble before.
Yeah, but I mean, even with them not knowing, maybe they say that they even
they knew
it was Tyreek.
They knew. They ran his damn tag.
Tyreek been in trouble before. Okay. Tyreek been in trouble with he beating his girlfriend, and they come to his house. It's not the first time that happened.
Okay,
right. They ran his tag.
Okay,
he's been in trouble, but in instances where he had interaction with police in Miami before.
But hey, Greg, I want to say one thing though. Police sometimes want to be judge, executioner, judge, jury, and executioner.
And I do understand that.
Yeah, and they are neither really. They are just the enforcement part of it.
And I do understand that. My whole thing, like, why? I was 18. Why are you gonna make me a cop and give me a gun with justice? I am not that fucking mature. I am not that fucking mature. Air Force does it. Marine Corps does it. Everybody does it. But here's the thing.
It's not as much maturity as it is.
Oh,
listen, when you grow, think about this, right? And I'm gonna put it in this aspect, right? When we grew up, we didn't have a lot of us didn't have a full meal on the table, right? You didn't have a full meal on the table, but you learned how to make a meal out of what you had. Right. So it's the same thing when you are put in a situation where, like you said, 18, and they give you a gun. Because they give you a gun at 18, don't mean you go out and act a damn fool. At 24, you don't go out and act a damn fool. You are there, you are given that responsibility because somebody thinks that you can handle it. Now, the part is, if you can't handle it, they got to put you out of it. And they don't put them out when they can't handle it.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game.
First of all, I'm going to agree and disagree. You shouldn't put that person in that role.
Why not? It's a job.
They can't handle it.
It's a job.
It's a job.
The first time you learned to ride a bike, you couldn't handle a bike either. You fell down, you scarred your knee up, you got back on the bike until you learned how to ride.
They can't handle
it's the same thing.
B,
if you cannot handle it, they can put you there. If you cannot handle it, then they got to know that you can't handle it and get you out of it.
I get it. You know how I work.
But you can't say that because you are 18, they shouldn't have done that and put you in that situation. No.
Yeah.
Because somebody, you got to trust somebody some of the time.
Didn't have.
Or you will never have a cop in the Air Force or the Army or the Navy or whatever.
Maturity level is not up to par.
What?
Maturity level is not up to par.
It's not about maturity level being at the par. You gotta grow.
You can say what you want.
As a child, as a 2-year-old, you became a 10-year-old. As a 10-year-old, you became a 20-year-old. I'll be damned if you in the same spot as a 2-year-old at the age of 20. It ain't got nothing to do with society. It's got to do with you.
You know that are ready to be real men.
I'm just saying. That's all. I'm saying. You can't. You gotta put people in positions because there's positions out there.
Answer the question.
What?
How many 18-year-olds you know that are ready to be real men?
It's not about you being ready to be a real man.
Answer this question.
It's not about you ready to be a real man. It's about you growing. You got to learn to grow. You never listen. I know 50-year-olds right now that ain't real men.
Answer the question. I ain't asking you that. I'm not asking you about
50-year-olds right now that think they
I'm not asking 18. You that.
So what does that mean?
I am not asking
hold on.
You that.
Quiet down for a minute.
You quiet down.
You the oldest one here.
Question.
You the oldest one here, Mac. I'm gonna ask you this question. I don't know how old you are, and it don't make a difference. I know you're the oldest one. So here it is. How many people that are even close to your age that you know that are not men?
I don't know none of them.
I'm not talking to you. I didn't say you. I said Mac.
Talking to Mac.
Yeah. Well, I don't know no 18-year-olds, but
no. I'm saying what I'm saying though. No, Mac. Listen, what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
you do have to train, and I'm sure that what they gave Greg the gun, that he went to some kind of school, though whether that school was sufficient or not might not be a question, but you did go to some kind of school or some kind of training, okay? Because at some point you had to learn what laws to enforce and what speed limits to enforce, whatever, okay? And these folks, I think they have to go through some training, and part of that training has to be personal interaction with your people. And that's who you're dealing with, your people. They're not your slaves. They're not but a lot of these guys, I'm not saying you, Greg, but they treat their wives and kids the same way.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
But you have some police officers that get the job. You got some police officers that'll pull you over and they catch you speeding or whatever the violations are. And they'll give you a warning and say, hey, look, take it easy, slow down. But this cop, what he did to Tyreek, he does to everybody. Okay. That he perceives to think that when he approached Tyreek, he had preconceived notion that this Negro is driving his $200,000
and I'm in charge here.
And he don't think he got to listen to me because he got a $200,000 car.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You already had mine made up.
The thing about it though, as far as, somebody being of age and of a certain age to have a certain job, the military don't care about that. Yeah. The military is driven by numbers. And I remember having a conversation similar to this where I was talking to folks down at AFPC, and we were talking about you should not be sending first-term airmen and second lieutenants to Korea. There's too much going on. And a first-term airman at that time was doing CDCs. the majority of those first-term airmen that go to Korea and CDCs fail to end the course. So they go to the next base within a year with a failure on their record. So now this new commander, he looking at you, he was like, look, you ain't failing here because I can't afford to have you on my books. Because the commander gets judged against the other commanders by those type of standards. Yeah. Well, you had 20 of these and he didn't have any. So I'm going to stratify him above you. So that's in the back of their mind. But the thing about the military, they told us we don't send you trained people. We send you bodies. You train them.
So, hey, Chester, now, when you went into the Air Force, did you know how to fix airplanes or load airplanes or whatever you did?
No.
Okay. So,
training. Yeah.
It's something that you learn there, right?
Right.
That's something that you learn. Yeah. Well, I think that's enough about Tyreek.